Bouncer is a class that blends close-range combat with magic, specializing in inflicting down status on their enemies. In today's video, we're going to discuss a powerful build for playing Jet Boots Bouncer. Let's jump right into it. For starters, let's talk about your class tree. At the time of this recording, we have a maximum of 47 skill points to spend. Here's how we spend them. For starters, get Defeat PP Gain, which makes you recover PP when a nearby enemy is downed. Elemental Decline, which makes it easier to cause elemental downs when hitting enemies with photon arts. Max out Decline Amplifier, which increases the rate down factor is accumulated when using elemental decline. Max out Decline Gelin effect. Enemies receive an effect that weakens them when you inflict down status. Max out Defeat Amplifier, which increases the down factor applied to your enemies. Max out Partial Destroy Advantage, which increases the damage you deal and reduces the damage you take against enemies with broken parts. Brand, which places a fire seal on an enemy you hit with a fire technique several times. Hitting an enemy with a seal with another fire technique causes the seal to explode, dealing additional damage and restoring PP. Blot, which places an ice sigil on an enemy after hitting them with several uncharged ice techniques. Hitting the enemy with a charged ice technique causes the sigil to explode. Zondaclad, which causes you to enter a high voltage state after hitting enemies several times with uncharged lightning techniques. While in this state, your next charged lightning technique will deal increased damage. Then you return to normal. Jet Attack Extra, which turns your Jet Boots normal attack into a 4-hit combo. Zan Gale, which will affect a vortex to an enemy after hitting them with an uncharged wind technique. Hitting them with a charged wind technique will activate the vortex, causing a different attack depending on which wind technique you used. Grant's Glitter, which will surround you with a halo after hitting an enemy multiple times with the light technique. While you have this halo, using light techniques will result in additional attacks, which depend on the technique you use. Gaining an additional halo does not stack them together, but resets the duration a halo is active. Megan Sphere, which causes a dark orb to follow you when you hit an enemy with an uncharged dark technique. You can stock up to 3 orbs, and when you use a charged dark technique, you consume all active orbs to increase the damage of that technique. The damage bonus corresponds to the number of orbs you stocked. Jet Intensity, which allows you to do an extremely powerful combo by holding down the attack button. Boot Trick Bounce Counter, which allows you to make a counterattack if you make a normal attack after dodging an attack with your weapon action. Thrust Drive, which will cause you to charge at an enemy if you use a normal attack at the right time after using a technique. Boots Art Skip Beat, which changes your normal attack to a more powerful version of your third normal attack after using different photon arts successively. Jet Boots Element Set, which makes your Jet Boots deal elemental damage that matches the element of the last technique you used. Storm Gigu, which adds a special gauge that fills when you dodge or attack, and when full, allows you to use a special attack called Jet Sweep Jolt. Thrust Drive Skip Attack, which makes you follow up a thrust drive with the final step of your normal combo. Jet Sweep Jolt Rapid Boost, which increases the attack speed of your photon arts temporarily after using Jet Sweep Jolt. Storm Gigu PP Save, which temporarily reduces PP consumption after using Jet Sweep Jolt. Finally, max out Jet Sweep Jolt Short Cooldown, which reduces the cooldown of Jet Sweep Jolt after dodging an attack with a weapon action. Your subclass is Fighter. The skills we want from the Fighter skill tree are Maxed Out Defeat Advantage, which increases damage against downed enemies, and Max Out Defeat PP Recovery, which increases PP recovery when attacking downed enemies. You will have 22 skill points left over, which can be spent however you wish, but they must be spent for the sake of your battle power. However, nothing else in this tree works with this build. When dealing with groups of enemies, start by using a technique that changes your jet boots element to match the weakness of the enemies in the group. An attack using a combination of Violent Gale, which unleashes a horizontal kick, Fierce Wave, which unleashes a shockwave in front of you, and Jet Sweep Jolt when it's available. If the group you're fighting has multiple elemental weaknesses, pick between those, but don't worry too much about hitting an enemy with the wrong element, as they don't resist elements they aren't weak to. Be sure to also exploit the elemental ability of the element you are using, such as Barda Blot if you are using ice attacks, as your photon arts count as uncharged techniques of the element you are using. When fighting bosses, the strategy is very similar. Activate a technique to make your boots match the element the boss is weak against, then use any combination of photon arts you like to build up and use Jet Sweep Jolt. Be sure to also use the elemental ability of the element you are using as often as you can as well. When the boss is downed, target its weak point with Jet Intensity, as the final hit in its combo does massive damage. At the time of this recording, the gear you should be shooting for are a Verschmel's Jet Boots and 3 Octo Armor units. Both your weapon and armor drop from the Lucille Exploration Standing Quest, and can be exchanged for at the item trader. The augments you want for all of this gear are Technique 4, which drops from Field Races, Darkfall's Aegis, Mining Rig Defense Kavaris Rank 2, Doldoris Vera, Nils Vera, or purchase from the Genesis Point Exchange Shop. The other augments you want are Star Triple Bolt, Gladiosol, High Hail Domina, Hal Finale, and Gigas Mast, which are all exchangeable for in the Augment Capsule Exchange Shop in the Item Lab. And that's all for this build. Thank you for watching, and if this video helped you, please like the video and subscribe for more PSO2 content. And I'll see you next time.